It will be a killer and a chiller and a thriller when I get the gorilla in Manila.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cassius Marcellus Clay. He's young, he's handsome, they know it.
I can turn the drink of water and kill a dead tree. Don't miss it, Muhammad Ali.
I've done something special. I've wrestled with an alligator. I've tussled with a whale. I've handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
I'm as confident as I say, and I'm better than I say I am. I'm a poet, I'm a prophet, I'm the resurrector, I'm the savior of the boxing world. If it wasn't for me, the game would be dead.
Who would bet on flying paddles beating me? Who would bet on Ernie Terrell beating me? I told you I was floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see.
Last week I murdered a rock, hinges of stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
Good morning. Welcome to your Inner City Wake Up Call. I'm your host, Dawud Al-Amin, coming out of the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina. February the 12th, 2016. This is your Inner City Wake Up Call, coming to you on YouTube, coming to you on Blog Talk Radio, coming to you on Facebook. Love doing this show. Love being with you this morning. This is Juma. This is Friday. For the Muslims, this is Friday Juma. So Juma Mubarak to all my Muslim brothers and sisters that tune in. Make sure you can make it out to the mosque today if you can for your prayer service. We have a local service here in Wilmington at Tawheed Islamic Center on Castle Street. You're welcome to come out to that service. And also, I need to make an announcement that I will be posting soon the April the 2nd concert at Greenfield Lake Park. I'll be posting that. It'll be on the No Covers page today. You probably have seen it already. But it's a concert. It's to raise money for the new mosque over on Princess Street. Also, don't forget, last minute, if you can, make it to the march tomorrow. I thought I was going to be able to make it, but I've got to work tonight and won't be off until about 8 or 9 o'clock, and the buses are already be leaving. However, somebody go in my presence, and if somebody wants to go, come by and pick this $20 up. Never come out get this money so I can go ahead and sponsor somebody. Make sure I do that at least and support the march. But that's tomorrow morning. I think there's still tickets available. 6:30 are leaving in the morning. Come back mid-afternoon. Go support the historic march on Jones Street in Raleigh, North Carolina. Justice needs to be, and we got to focus all around the board. We got election coming up. We got a primary coming up real soon. I don't see much information. I see a few people. I talked to Jameson yesterday. I talked to him down at the downtown by the courthouse. Brother's running, and I gotta put that out there. Brother Jameson is running. He's been active in the community for years. You all know who I have been supporting on this show, but Jameson, my brother too. I got to put it out there, and we have Miss Emma also running. So we got 3 blacks in the race. I'll speak on that as the days come. Some people say that's a plus. Some people say that's a negative. Forget it. I'll speak on it now. I never, I like us to be organized as black people. But I never think it's a negative in the primaries because it's a primary. Because most people, blacks, don't understand the voting process anyway. We need to just have a whole class on voter education. Because if we understand the primaries, then if we understand it, we really shouldn't have had a primary if we had been organized. Had we organized correctly, we would have had 3 candidates filed, kept those 3, and I think that was the plan. And then work with those 3 because the Republicans are not having a primary because they only had 3 filed. We've got 5 on, and I said we, on the Democratic side, even though I am, I sit in the middle. I'm a registered Republican, I'm nosy, and I support my people because that's my people. So we had 5 filed. So we have to have a primary. You all that don't know the education process, I'm going to be talking about this in the days to come because the primary decides who goes to the general election. So we got 3 blacks in the primary. So we do to get 1 because, we got 2 whites and 3 blacks. We're going to get 1 in the general election. So we'll win there. The question is, are we going to get the one who can get to the general election. Because to get to the general election, you got to upseat one of those Republicans, even though there's an open seat. You know how they bind together. They've been binding together for the last 15 years, I've seen. So we got to upseat one of those to get one of ours. I say ours, and I mean, you know, I ain't a racist, but I mean one that look like me. I need somebody to look like me on that school board. Bottom line, you know, I got a subject matter today, but that's what I'm going to stay right here. God put this on my heart. I need somebody that look like me on that school board. We had to calculate what the best strategy is. So here's my take, and I'm going to put it out there. My take is that we get the 3 candidates in a room, because if we look at it, and I'm way off my subject this morning, but if we look at it, the 3 candidates represent 3 segments of our community. We have Ms. Emma, who represents the education segment. Retired educational teachers. She's been around a long time. She has she's already ran before, but most people forget she almost won last time. So she's got a voter base. Okay? So that's one segment of the community. We got Jameson. That's a religious pastor, I would hope. You know, he's been doing boots on the ground. He's been out there really working and really building for years. I've known the brother for over at least 10, 12 years. I went to his service many times. I've been to his house before. Good brother. He's been active. We got some pluses. I was just with anybody. Got pluses and minuses. Got some likes and dislikes. But that's irrelevant to his base. He has a base. He has a white base of people that support him. So there's a base. And he's been active. Now we have Kevin. He has a young base. Neither one of the other 2 I've seen on Facebook, so I know Kevin has a young base. A young base that needs to be educated on how to vote, because most of his base doesn't understand the primaries versus the general election. So they need to be educated. It's a good chance to educate the process. So there's 3 segments of our community that if those 3 segments came together, we could control who gets in. Now here's how you do that. Those elders in our community, or those senior spokesmen, because I'm not one. You know, I'm a rebel rouser. I'm just a person who gives suggestions. But those of us that have the expertise that have been out here running for a while, you make 3 phone calls. Kevin, I need you to come to a meeting. Ms. Emma, I need you to come to a meeting. And Jameson, I need to come to a meeting. And in that meeting, those elders of our community decide which one of them is going to be best qualified to get on that school board. Once that decision is made, the other 2 have to be respectful enough to yield to the decision of the elders and take their base and put behind the one base. That is how other folks operate. And I give you an example. And that's how we operate, and I give you 2 examples. One example is Port City Community Church. If anybody knows the history of Port City Community Church, there were several pastors that used to meet at their house first, and then they went to meet at a high school. But before they went to the high school to meet and rent it, they got in a room, pulled straws, prayed, and said, Mike Ashcroft, whose name came up, you're the best candidate because God said you're going to lead us. The other 3 or 4 pastors yield their congregation to him. They join together, and now they have the largest non-denominational church. It looks like Joel Osteen, if you ever been to visit, in Wilmington, North Carolina. They own their property. They buy their property. They have 1,000 volunteers, but they did it because they united and came together. We've done this before. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but let me give you the history. I ran for city council as the member of the Nation of Islam. Most people don't know that. I ran a year early. I made my candidacy known even a year before the filing date. On the steps of City Hall, I was going to run for city council. I got out early, door to door, had the brothers and sisters knocking on doors. I got brothers and sisters today mad to me today because I got out the race. Why did I get out the race? Because at that time, the powers to be met. And they said, Daoud, you have a good, strong nationalistic base. But we don't want you to run because Andrew Hughes has a broader base and she can win. We would like for you to step back and allow her to run, and you put your people behind her and draw out the race and support her in becoming the next city council member. Did I want to do it? Oh, no. Because my ego said I was out before her. And my ego said I can win. And my ego said no. She yielded to me. But common sense told me, number one, as a Muslim, it was going to be an uphill battle. Number two, as a member of the Nation of Islam, it was going to be an uphill battle. And number three, after getting advice from my national leadership, unity was better than my own ego. So I got out the race. It's documented downtown. And I supported Miss Hughes. And guess what? In a runoff, she won. And I never forget the day. We marched from our mosque on Dawson Street with our little students that sat down at the New Orleans County Courthouse and counted the ballots. And we watched our children watch the ballots come in as she won the race and got on city council. That's the kind of unity that we push here at No Covers. And that's the kind of unity that has to happen right now. I'm way off my subject. I'll get to that no quit. But it's still on my subject because my subject today is that was winners, they don't quit. We don't quit. But we do use common sense. See, it ain't always about you a quitter. No, you step back and let the best qualified candidate. And whoever decides who the people, who the best candidate is, all three parties, platforms get together and say, here is how we're going to win. And if we do that this year, then we come back 2 years from now and do it again. Then we come back 2 years after that and do it again. And then we come back 2 years after that and do it again. It's very simple. In 8 years, we can control the education process in New Hanover County. It's that simple because we have the power to do it if we come together and unify behind one strong candidate who can also pull that white base that can pull that lever for us and understand, because we have those out there, that the children that of us that get educated properly, that when our children get a decent education, that when our children stop getting kicked out of school, that when our children stop having low scores, they understand it benefits their children as well. There is a base out there of whites that understand that philosophy. And if we're smart, we'll get with that base and provide for our children a decent education, a decent candidate, and we'll take over the education of our children. I'm sorry I didn't get to my point this morning, but God sometimes directs me in another way. Don't quit, but have sense. Have sense enough to figure out a way to win, because that's all it's about. Y'all keep running this morning. I go to my Facebook page. You'll get today's lesson on quitting, but that's what it's all about. Don't quit. Win. 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 Keep running. I'm your brother, No Covers. Peace and blessings.